Hi, my name is Audrey Jones, and today I'm going to be talking to you about proper body alignment and posture. And I am, just to let you know a little bit about me, I'm a massage therapist. I've been doing that for 10 years now, and body alignment is something that I am extremely passionate about. I never knew how much of a difference this could make on our bodies to cure the chronic pains that we feel every day. I wanted to talk about a few examples of chronic pain that I see in my clients, and I wanted to provide solutions for how we can fix those with proper posture and alignment. So, to give you a little bit of an idea of what proper alignment is, I've looked up the National Osteoporosis Foundation says that alignment refers to how your head, shoulders, spine, hip, knees, and ankles relate and line up with each other. So I'm going to use my trusty little helper here, Batman. Now I know we don't all have proper posture like Batman, but he's going to show us where these alignment markers are. So we can see here that we will use the whole of the ear, the center of the shoulder, the center of your hip, ankle, and the center of your knee. And if all of those line up in a line, then your body is in proper alignment. So that's for standing. And I understand that we are dynamic beings. We don't just stand still all the time. But if we are aware of where those markers are in relationship to each other, and then we can help make other everyday activities seem easier. I like to think of alignment as a hinge. Or another simple machine that we can use that with. So with a hinge, it bends, opens, and closes. Opens and closes. If you were to put weight on one of the sides of that hinge and try to open and close it, it's going to wear away. It's not going to be as effective, and you won't be able to close the door completely or probably even open it completely. And so that's why alignment is important in our bodies, is so that we can make sure that we are being efficient and keeping our spine with as little stress as possible, because we have so many things that stress our bodies on a daily basis. So 3 of the examples I wanted to talk to you about are things my clients see me for are low back pain, carpal tunnel syndrome, and bunions. And believe it or not, all 3 of these things can be helped with proper posture and alignment. So I wanted to talk a little bit about each of those and how that can make a difference in our everyday lives. So low back pain. Our backs are amazing. We have our spines. Our spines have natural curves. We have the curve in our neck and in our low back that curve one way, and then the curve by our shoulders and our sacrum area that is curving the opposite direction. And those curves are normal. When we start to see curves a different way is when we see it from side to side. So if we see curves like this or like this, that's when we start to have pain. And that's when we are concerned about other things such as symptoms of scoliosis and other pathologies like that. So one thing that I've told my clients, if they have low back pain, is to watch how they sit during the day. So again, we are going to use Batman to help demonstrate how we should be sitting. So Batman is going to fold his arms so that we can see his hips a little bit better. So we should be sitting with our back straight and our shoulders aligned directly over our hips. Our ears should also be directly over our shoulders. So I think for a lot of us, if we do that, that's putting our head a little further back than we're normally used to. But this can help because it takes less stress off of your back. One of the most common problems I see with my clients, especially my male clients, is when they're sitting at work, a lot of times they will have in their back pocket something that they're sitting on, a wallet. So we're going to pretend this Lego is a wallet. This wallet may be a little bit thicker than yours, but we can see here that if Batman attempts to sit on a wallet, he falls. Same with a skinnier wallet. If Batman attempts to sit on a wallet, he falls. Our bodies are not like that. Our bodies say, oh, there's something there. Let's use the rest of our muscles to kind of get us back to normal. So while we're sitting on that wallet, one of our hips is elevated. And because of that elevation, our body says, hey, wait, if we were to just sit like this, we're going to tip over. That's not good. So it says, let's contract these muscles on this side to bring us back. And this is an amazing thing that our body does. Our body doesn't break. It doesn't just fall over. It compensates. And while this is an amazing thing that it can do to allow us to move and have all of these amazing abilities, it can sometimes cause problems. So while we're sitting here, if our muscles contract here to get back to normal, then these ones are stretched. And your body says, hey, let's try to even that out somewhere else. And so we start to see muscles shortening all the way up the spine. And that kind of creates these curves. Now, normally that's okay if it's not going to be for a very long time. But when you are doing this constantly, or an 8-hour workday for 8 hours at a time, then that can become what is called a chronic holding pattern. And that's something I see in my clients. And what I look for is when I do an evaluation on their body, I check to see their alignment. I check for those alignment markers, and then I'll have them turn and face away from me. And I'll be able to see if their shoulders are aligned with each other or if one is elevated. Same with their hips, if one is elevated. And if that's the case, then I start to ask them about their daily activities, because I want to see where they are incorporating those holding patterns. How often are they sitting like that? How much of an impact does that have on their day? Again, with ladies, I'll see this with purses. They'll hold a purse on their shoulder. And so they have this muscle contracted right here to keep that purse up or to balance out the weight. And so our body will compensate. Same thing if we're talking on a cell phone and put it on our ear. We want to be able to still walk and talk and do normal things and normal activities. So those things, depending on how often we do them, for how long we do them, that can have impact on our everyday lives. And we don't think about things like that because, we just grab our purse and run out the door, or we just keep our wallet in our pocket because that's convenient. We don't want to put it on our desk for all of our coworkers to see. It's inconvenient to put it in a drawer because what if we leave it there? So my husband didn't believe me when I told him to stop sitting on his wallet. And I said, just try it as a little experiment and we'll see how it goes. And he made fun of me. He said it's not going to make a difference, but it ended up making a huge difference. And he no longer has lower back pain because he switched his wallet to his front pocket. Something that simple. Now, another thing that I see is carpal tunnel syndrome. And yes, there are a lot of true cases of carpal tunnel syndrome. Carpal tunnel syndrome is where you feel weakness or tightness in your wrist because the tendons for your hands all go through this band right here that is known as your carpal tunnel. Now, when you overwork these, swelling can happen, and then that carpal tunnel gets smaller. Or with all of it stays the same size, but with all the swelling, it seems smaller and it puts pressure on those, and then you're not able to move your hand as much. What I've found with my clients with carpal tunnel syndrome is many of them are experiencing symptoms of carpal tunnel, but they aren't actually having carpal tunnel syndrome. Many of them have had surgery to see if that'll fix it, and it comes right back. And that can be extremely frustrating. So one of the things that I tell my clients is that all of your muscles in your body have muscles that do an action and then muscles that do the opposite. So with carpal tunnel, many people don't know, but all of the nerves that go to your hands come from your spinal cord here in your neck. And if you have impingements anywhere along this line all the way to your wrist, you can feel symptoms of carpal tunnel syndrome. So a lot of times when we're sitting, we sit like this with our shoulders rotated in, and we're on our phones, we're on our laptops, we're bent over like this. Okay? These muscles right here are called your pectoralis muscles. And what they do is they are in charge of that rotating motion. Now, the opposite muscles on your back, we can look at Batman here. He doesn't have them chiseled out on his back, but in this area right here, you have two small muscles called your rhomboid muscles, and those counteract your pecs. Now, by sheer size alone, your pectoralis muscles are going to dominate. So what we need to do is do strengthening exercises for those rhomboids and stretch these muscles out so that our shoulders are back and our chest is open and our nerves can flow from our neck down to our arm with little to no issue. And a lot of times, if I teach my clients those strengthening exercises with stretches and proper alignment, those symptoms are minimized. And it can be life-changing for those who really struggle with carpal tunnel syndrome if surgery hasn't helped, because it could be that the problem is actually somewhere else. Now, the third issue I see a lot is bunions. And I have the leg of a different action figure here to demonstrate this. So with our feet, if we are walking, all right, our feet are designed to have the majority of our weight distributed right at the ball of our foot, right there. So if we are walking in alignment, that is where we will see the majority of our weight distributed on our feet. Now, many of us don't walk in alignment, and that's part of the issue, is being aware. Many of us will walk with our foot rotated outwards. I know that a lot of dancers I work on, when they're working on their turnout, that's something that they struggle with, and they tell dancers all the time, do not walk with your feet turned out. But if you walk with your foot turned out, my foot turns out because one of the chronic holding patterns I have is I drive a lot, and my right foot is my accelerator foot, and it is turned. It is slightly turned like this. So every time I walk, if I don't pay attention, I am walking with my foot turned out, and that puts all of the weight of my body right here in this corner. And that's not where it's designed to go. So much of the times, bunions are just your body saying, hey, we're walking this way and we're not designed to build to support that kind of weight. And so your body will actually build bone on that area, just on the bottom base of your toe, of your first toe, to strengthen the base of your foot to support your weight while you're walking. So bunion surgery, again, that is something that a lot of people choose to do, have their bunions removed. And yes, while that can help, if the pattern of walking isn't changed, that can come right back. So the biggest thing that I wanted to talk about is awareness, and just bring these things to your mind, the forefront of your mind, that alignment actually impacts all of us on a daily basis, that we need to be conscious of this in order to help our bodies be the most efficient, to keep our spine, our back, our bones, our joints all healthy and efficient. And I know that because I've seen this in the lives of my clients, it's absolutely changed everything for them. And it's really nice when you go from having chronic pain all the time to changing something small and not having pain anymore. And that can make a huge difference in your life. And I thank you for your time, for listening, and encourage you to seek out opportunities to be more aware of your body and your alignment and see what difference it makes in your lives. Thank you.